Hello world, it's JS here. Today I'll be using my understandings to explain the story of newly came out Taiwanese horror game, Detention. This game contains many metaphors and is very poetic. With its unique Chinese Taiwanese culture and history background, I feel like maybe some players might like some sort of explanations throughout the game. This contains a lot of spoilers, so if you haven't played it and you're the kind of player who can enjoy horror and thriller and puzzle solving games, I highly recommend you check this game out. On Steam, I believe it can be a fantastic playing experience for many people. After you played it or in the middle of your game, if you want to understand the story plot a little bit more, feel free to come back right here. Now, I'll try not to comment on what was right or what was wrong that might happen in the Taiwanese history. I'll simply try to explain it. Maybe in the end I'll give more of my thoughts. Please know that all of these are my personal thoughts and feelings towards Detention. Here comes! Detention implies that the background of the game was set in Taiwan in the 1950s through 1980s maybe. During that era, Taiwan was led by dictatorship. Unlike the democracy today, the era was known for being the White Terror period, where families, friends, and associates could be easily accused of being affiliated with communists, and those people who would suddenly disappear, jailed, or executed. After losing the civil war to the communists in China, the Taiwanese leader felt that the need to imply martial law in the island. In the other word, Taiwan was not a very fun place to live during that time at all. Oppressive government, censorship, brutal anti-communist laws, you name it, we had it. That was an era which one simple phrase to discredit the leader will get you 10 years of jail. And one banned book can get you shot and killed. Not even by mentioning other activities such as gathering or forming other parties, spreading their thoughts of freedom. Ooh, you'll be super dead. Since this is such a serious topic, please forgive me try to make it a little jolly. This does not mean that I don't respect the victims or their families. Most importantly, I respect the period as a whole. Okay, by knowing this background, let's get started. In this video, I will briefly explain the story plots. Detention's main character is Ray, and she was an excellent student with outstanding performances, living in a happy family. Teachers and students liked her. She was like some kind of prom queen, I suppose. That was until her father, a civil worker who works for the government, had affairs with other women, and the mom reported his bribery. We don't know if they were true or not. Anyway, the father was taken away, jailed as the game implied. The family was left broken, and Ray's performances at school declined. This is when Mr. Zen consoled Ray, but eventually the two of them fall in love. Okay, during that period, older men who have relationship with younger men was pretty common. I'm not saying that teacher and students affairs are very common. It's definitely really rare, but still, in the case, it was kind of possible, and it might end good. Okay. So Ray was happy again. The story might have ended here with a happy ending, like I said. But since Mr. Zen was also secretly providing banned books for school secret reading club, led by Miss Yin, the tale is leading our lovebirds into tragedy. Along the government tightened its grasp towards censorship, the pressure of getting caught was getting very real. For not getting Ray involved, Mr. Zen made a decision to distance from Ray without telling her why. Broken again. Ray wants accidentally heard the conversations between Mr. Zhang and Miss Zing, and Ray thought Miss Zing was the reason that Mr. Zhang left her. Soon later, Ray also learned about the existence of the secret reading club and found out it was led by Miss Ying. Blinded by hate and being anxious to get Mr. Zhang back to her, Ray used Wei to get a hold of the book list and was wishing to use it to get rid of Miss Ying and sacrifice her classmates just so that she may get her love back. At this point, she was only a cruel patriot. Alright, right here, Wei as a 11th grader. Okay, Ray is 12th grade, and Wei, the boy, is 11th grade. So I think there's maybe the 11th grade boy kind of like Ray, so that is why she's able to use him to get the lists, right? So that's why. Okay, now this report led to Miss Singh seeking asylum overseas, leaving the country, and Wei got sentenced to 15 years of jail, including many others, executed or jailed. What Ray didn't know was that Mr. Zhang was the provider of the banned books, who of course also got executed. Ray was praised by the school and officials from her actions in the auditorium. As her regrets and guilt increased, she just couldn't take it anymore. Finally, she just snapped and ended her life in the school. Life was ended, but the guilt was not. And so her spirit, I think, lingers, endlessly live her own reincarnation, trapped in the place where she suicide, hoping to redeem herself. Until someday, a familiar but aged person entered the now abandoned school, stepped in the auditorium which Ray once was praised. Okay, that person is Wei. Okay, the old Wei, when he came out from prison and maybe after a long time. Okay, that will be the story plot. And right now, I would like to talk more about this video that I'm putting on my playthrough from chapter 4 in the game. This, as you may know, that the game contains two different kinds of endings. One, which I will call it a normal ending, and two, it's a happy ending. Not in a happy way, but happier ending. Okay. And the reason that is she's been reliving this reincarnation over and over again. Why? Although I wanted to explain the Buddhism and Tao religions in the next video, I think I'll still talk a little about why is she trapped here. Okay, now Ray in a Taiwanese local religions, some believes that if a person is suicided, he or she may not go to heavens nor hell. She'll be trapped in a place that she, maybe some say it's an exact place. All right. In this case, in this story, it is the exact place, and some just say in a not a specific place. It's just a loop of his imagination. Anyway, no matter it's a real place or it's just a dimension, okay, the person who suicide will eventually be trapped there. And that is what happens, and it's why she's been living this over and over again, because she suicided and she has her sins and she did not redeem herself, so she has to relive this terrible memory over and over again about losing her memory, wake up in nowhere, okay, and then finding the memories, knowing what she's done, and then forget everything, and then try to remember it all again. And after she knew, you have to forget it and go do it again. So that's like an endless loop of her trapped in that memory. So in this case, this is a normal ending. Why? Because she's been living this for countless times. So if she just go and hang herself again, then it's just the same as previous times that she's been living through this. So I wouldn't call it a bad ending because she was already here and she's, trapped here as always. So just go back to the start and do it again. So I wouldn't call it a bad ending. Okay, so here's approaching to the end. Oh, and during that era, it might be kind of hard to understand that why so many people are reporting, because they actually, history tells us that some provides money awards to those who report, and if you're a government official, by catching these so-called communists, can help you to move up your ranks faster. So these agents and officials, they just do everything they can for their own interest, and to maybe some didn't do it for their own interest. I don't know. Okay, but anyways, they're just using everything they could, torturing for people to commit for something. Sometimes they didn't do anything, but they were forced to commit that they did something. But that's not our case anyways, because in our story, they actually did do something. They actually, did have a secret reading club, and Mr. Zen really did imported those banned books. So I'm not saying they're doing something bad, no, terrible, definitely not. I'm just saying that in this case, they actually got caught by doing something. But in the other hand, there are a lot of people get caught by doing nothing at all. So that was kind of tragic for an era of time in Taiwan, the island of Taiwan. Okay, so you're watching the chapter 4 of the game Detention, and what I would like to put this way is that chapter 1 to chapter 3, it was kind of horror, alright? It's more thrilling, and it's more like puzzle solving, and you're slowly finding why are you here, and what's going on. So it's more scary stuff. But chapter 4 is all about choices. So chapter 4, I have to tell you, it's not that kind of a thrilling, but it is crucially important because Ray is making choices. The choices she made from talking to herself on dialogues will affect the ending. Like in this video, I did not choose the correct quote answers, and she can't redeem herself, and she'll go back to the loop again. And here she remembers and discovered her memory of reporting to Instructor Bai. I will make another video about talking contents, about more deeply into the contents of the game, because I think there are some cultural aspects that could be interesting to talk about. And I'm a big fan of history, and I live in Taiwan, so I think this is a good way for Taiwan to connect to the world maybe, and that's why I'm making this video. Okay, English is not my first language, but I still think I should make one video using English, because I hope the people who plays this game or wanting to play this game can have more connection to this game. So that is why. And the next video I will be showing a footage of happy ending. Okay, alright, happier ending. There's not a happy ending in this kind of story, we all know that. But happier ending. And during the video, I'll discuss more about Buddhism, Tao religions, and for example, like the Taoist magic figure and diamond sutra that occurred in the game, and what do they stand for, and the little shrines that where you save games, right? The way of worshiping gods in Taiwan religions, and I think it's fascinating. Personally, I love this stuff a lot. So, by the way, I'm not a big fan of thriller or horror game. not at all. But since this game came out, I figured I should give it a try. And I gave it a try, and it did something to my head, really. So, I think it's a really cool experience. Now she walks back, and herself talked to her that I'm you, but you're not yet me. Means you're not yet redeemed. So, go girl, do it again. Start over. I think this is it. She made some characters. This one's Wei, and in the middle is Mr. Zen, and then Miss Ying, I assume. Then she walks slowly towards her. I don't know. Works towards. There are a lot of people who die in those history events, and it was true. And right now, in this video, I'm not going to talk too much about how I felt about the event and how I feel how things are supposed to be, because I think that's the other topic. And right now, we just want to talk about the game, right? So there she is, walking towards the stage, getting praised by people. Oh, in this scene, I think, from my perspective, I think Ray did not hang herself. I think she jumped through the ceilings. I think, from my perspective, the real death of Ray was jumping throughout the ceiling, because as we discovered in the note that Wei wrote when he was old man, he says she just jumped, right? So I think, well, this could be referred to jumping from a rope as well, but I just think that hanging herself was just in her thoughts. That was the part of her trap, part of her quest of trying to redeem herself, and she imagined all that. Okay, well, I'll round up this video right now, right here, and thank you very much for watching, and I hope this video helped you understand the story plots a little bit more. Okay, hope to see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.